You want to fill this void, so you want to just be around people, you want to socialise, you want to be around girls and get that love and feel attention and need attention. So I had a lot of, dark demons growing up as a kid, and which led into my adult life.
Sid, we're back.
We are back.
Back again.
I love this. It's so good.
I was going to say, how good has this been?
It has been brilliant. We've had some top class guests, some real insight. It's been brilliant.
Just sitting here chatting with your mates.
I know. So good, isn't it?
Sensational. Who are we chatting to today then?
Oh, today, someone I know really well.
Yeah.
Probably one of the finest talents to come through in the academy in my generation. I was lucky enough to come through with him at Arsenal. His nickname was Panino.
What
Coming through the academy ranks at Arsenal, it is the one and only Jermaine Pennant.
Oh, I love Jermaine.
What a lad.
And what are we discussing with Jermaine?
We are going to be talking reputation. Something that I really want to divulge in with him, because something that he probably would admit has followed him round, and a tag that's followed him round, and did it really hinder his progression as a player? Did he get to the real heights that he should have done?
Right, well, let's find out.
Let's go.
Jermaine Pennant, everyone. How are you, mate?
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. How's the golf going?
At the minute, rubbish. Because I can't play.
Right, so it is about reputation. It's come out, we're straight out with it. Are you a bad boy?
No, I wouldn't say I'm a bad boy.
No.
I've done bad boy things, but as a person, I'm not a bad boy. I've made stupid mistakes at a young age, which got in the public eye, and then it was very hard to shrug that off, and then automatically get labelled.
What was life like growing up in Nottingham? Like, let's go back, way back.
Yeah.
Let's talk about growing up. You had football as not maybe a main focus at the time, but as a hobby or an out. But what was it like growing up where you was in Nottingham?
It was tough. It was rough. It was full of drugs, full of crime, gang warfare. I was in the middle of it. But I always just loved football. I always loved playing football, so I never really got involved. And only recently that I got told that my dad spoke to all my friends who were probably a little bit older, who I was hanging out with, and told them, if you're going to go and do any stuff that you go and do, make sure my son's not involved.
Wow, and you only found that out recently?
And I've only found it a couple of years ago, yeah.
From
the boys, yeah,
wow.
because we're still in a group chat. But obviously, some of my friends have been to prison, some of them have been, and this and that. And they said to you, when you was younger, about 13, 14, your dad said, look, make sure he's... So I always wondered where the boys going, can I come? And they was going, no, you can't.
So they would say, like,
yeah,
no, you can't
they would
come.
actually say, no, we're going somewhere, you can't come. And I was like, why? I was thinking, I thought we were boys here. But now
They're looking out for you.
Yeah.
So living throughout those times and around those sort of bad things happening, was football your sort of like distraction? And
Yeah, I just love playing football all the time. And the thing is, it sounds crazy now, but back then it was just the norm, them kind of things going on. Obviously being brought up in that, it's just the norm, it's just a life. So you don't know any better or any different. So, but football, I always just love playing football. Get up any time in the morning and play, and for my local team, and then it just kind of progressed onto your school, and then getting trials for Notts County, and then making fuss, and then
Absolutely. And who are your footballing heroes growing up? Who did you look up to?
It went through stages, obviously, because my dad was a Liverpool fan, and he used to watch the VCRs of Liverpool, get the video in there and press play. Come on, Liverpool.
You still do that now? I see you on Instagram. You're never
I still do, don't get me wrong. And then, so I kind of followed my dad since I could really play football, get into football. And then it was John Barnes. Kind of was my area. Then it got up to Robert Fowler and Michael Owen, and it just kind of. When I started playing with Fowler and Owen, I had to take it back a bit.
Imagine that. It's brilliant though, isn't it? Looking at them as heroes and idols, and then you're in the same dressing room.
What was that like?
It was good, because I can remember what I told Robbie after training one time. I was just sitting down stretching, and I felt like a big kid. I was like, Robbie, do you know when I was younger, we used to have you on the back of my shirt.
groupie.
He looked at me when you're right. Yeah, you're right there, like. It was funny. So.
We talk about football. What's your earliest memories of FA Cup?
Oh, it was one of the best competitions, one of the best cups. We just love watching it. And doesn't matter even if it wasn't my team. And the thought of the lower teams, beating the big dogs and the underdogs and all that, always had that history. And there was always one team that would get knocked out by a non-league or so. Them memories there are fantastic.
Absolutely. And then you signed for Arsenal at a very young age.
Next to this fella, right? Yeah.
I remember it well.
And Steve was in charge of looking after you, I hear.
Yeah, so the day he signed, Liam Brady pulled me aside and said, listen, we're signing a lad from Nottingham, it's a lot of money. Because we didn't know at the time, it was £2 million, but things like that didn't get banded around. It came in the papers later on, but he said, look, we're signing a lad from Nottingham, I need you to look after him, he's coming from a tough place, I need you to take him under your wing, show him the ropes, show him how to behave, and I tried to do it.
I wouldn't say he failed, but he did a good job.
I tried to do it as much as I could, but and then he come through the door and he was like
a joke.
He was just a breath of fresh air. Yeah. We had a ridiculous team anyway, didn't we? I mean, the talent
was phenomenal.
Yeah. And then, but when he come in, he just blended in and just made. It just came in with ease because we were such a talented group and we had lads from different backgrounds as well, from London and South London and all over the country. And then Jay just came in and was just like, this is for me.
Did you find it easy to adapt?
Oh no, 100%. Like I said, when I came in there, obviously I was a little bit scared, leaving home and then coming into big London, seeing what I was going to get myself into. But like I said, Sid and all the boys, there was all on the level. All on the same level, so I fit in just literally. It's like being back at home, kind of hanging with my friends who had the good banter, but also being so talented. So when you're surrounded by talented players and good friends as well, you just enjoy it even more, which we did, and hence why we was a very successful youth team.
Absolutely. And you said when you first came in, at the age of 15, you were just like, oh my God, this guy is unbelievable.
Well, undoubtedly the best crosser of the ball I've seen, right, at that age.
Yeah.
And then you start going through his career and you start talking to people that have played with him. I think we had Crouchy on, didn't we, in a previous
you just said
episode.
At Liverpool.
And he was
ping,
ping,
that's to do, find a big man. Here you go, get on your Crouchy, have that.
But it's not even, it was like literally every delivery, but one thing that he had special was that he could run full tilt and cross the ball. Like, people might think that sounds easy, but it's one of the hardest skills to do, and put it on a sixpence for people as well. At ABS break, literally would just pull the handbrake up. But the thing that was funny was he used to play with his laces undone. He was that sort of laid back. He used to just play with his laces undone. And there'd be times where we'd have a youth team game, and he wouldn't. I wouldn't say he's having a stinker, but he looked disinterested.
Yeah.
Probably because it was either too easy, and we'd be like, Jay, come on. And he'd be like, yeah. And there was a few games where the first team may not have played on a Saturday, they might have played on a Sunday or a Monday. So they was training at the training ground when we played. And then for 60 minutes, 70 minutes, he'd be having a nightmare. All of a sudden, Arsene Wenger walks over, and then he'll look over and he'll just start score 2 and assist 2, and just out of nowhere.
That's phenomenal.
You
can
remember
just
that?
switch it on.
I said they're playing on Sunday, so sometimes you would get even some of the younger boys, so you get, I know for sure, Ashley, Parlev and that sort of time, and a few others, another senior player would come and watch, and automatically I thought, right, I've got to produce the goods here. All right, come on, fix up, get into gear, and then I would have a storm again, probably set up a couple of goals or something. So,
amazing.
Literally,
could you just switch like that though?
Yeah, exactly like that. I mean, the FA Youth Cup final was one of the biggest. Was the biggest competition around. We went back to back, but the second year we beat Blackburn 5-0. 5-0 in the first leg. It was basically Jermaine Pennant 5, but Blackburn 0, because he tore them to pieces. We didn't play the second leg, did you?
Arsene didn't play him in the second leg because they had a local friendly against Barcelona.
Yeah.
So he just thought either that was too easy, or the job's already done, so we're going to play him in a little testimonial friendly at Highbury against Barcelona. And to be fair, everyone would think, well, oh, amazing. But I was absolutely gutted
You wanted
that I
to
wasn't with my blood, with the boys to
Yeah.
celebrate. I think we'd lost 3-1, but
Yeah.
5-3 on aggregate.
Yeah.
But I was just gutted that I wasn't there with them.
And with that price tag at such a young age, did you feel the pressure at all?
Not in the early stage, because I was too more in the academy. I was with the youth. We was all together, so it didn't feel like I was any different. All right, I got bought for a lot of money, but it just the only name I got was Panino and Wizkid, just through
Panino's the one.
for the transfer. But I didn't feel any pressure. The only time I started probably feeling the pressure is when I went into the first team, when I started going to the dressing room, and then I had to try and break through. That's when the pressure started to kick in. But playing with the lads in the youth team was just pressure.
We had such a special bond, and he was never even that one where, like, sort of a big time Charlie sort of tag, even from our lot, from the original group that was there when he came in. It wasn't as if he's not one of us. He come in and we just had a massive bond. But you say there about that step up then from youth team to first team. That was going fine on the pitch, but what was it like off the pitch? You said you've come down from Nottingham to London. Was it hard to control West End going out?
Oh, yeah, it was
combining football and...
Especially when you're not getting your breakthrough that you thought you would be getting.
Right.
When it's not coming as quick as it should have been. You're getting snippets here, doing there, and then you're getting the manager telling you doing great in training, and then you're thinking, so why not ever bringing me on or giving me a chance?
Why do you think that is? Why do you think
I look back now and I think I don't think English players was really getting that opportunity at Arsenal back that era. You look now, it will be totally different in football in general. But I think in that era, that not a lot of English players really getting pushed through from the academy. It wasn't really thought I was getting foreign players, so that was always going to be tough. And then on top of that, I was trying to break into the Invincible.
Yeah.
So
it's not an easy team.
I was just fighting. Well, I won't lose it, but I was just fighting a really tough battle, and then that started to get in my head. Started to get frustrated, and I've not got that personality, that professional, that attitude. It's not always been up there anyway. So to have that go through and think, oh, I'm not getting a chance, and then you've got West End. I'm not playing next weekend. Then all right, lads, the boys are going out. All right, I'll come out and have a few, and then that's when you take a slippery path.
And at the time when you were doing it, were you like, I shouldn't really be going out here, or I should be like trying to get into the first team, or were you thinking?
I was just thinking, well, I work hard all week in training. We'll go on a Friday, work hard, and if I'm in the squad, amazing. If I'm not in the squad. Come in, train on Saturday. I'll go out on a Saturday night with the boys, have Sunday off. But I went out once, and I was starting the next day, but I didn't know.
Because that was your Premier League debut, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I thought I was going to the bench.
What was your actual Arsenal debut like? I think it was in the League Cup, I think.
It was the League Cup, yeah. It was against Middlesbrough way back in...
We used to, like, when someone got promoted or was having a chance, we used to, like, the lads used to get right behind them. So at Highbury, the youth team was to sit right behind the dugout, and if one of our lads was on the bench or if they was going to be playing, there'd be a party going on the paddock. They used to call it the paddock right behind, and you used to see the lads going, "Go on!" like getting up and cheering. So when he was getting his breakthrough and getting in there, we was buzzing. Like,
and half of them knew I went out as well, though, so they're probably like this going, "Oh no!"
Oh yeah, so yeah. But when he got his debut for Borough, the first one, we'll come on to the Southampton one. But when he was getting in and then playing, because he'd go up with them, play, come back down with us, always come down our end of the building and be like, what's he like to train with? What's that like? And he'd be like, it's all right, it's,
I was always laid back, so I'd go, yeah, it's tough, cheery, mid-tone,
Mid-tone?
Yeah, Monaco scares me, but apart from that, Henri's a joke, yeah.
But what was that debut like?
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's something like some of the things you'll never forget, Champions Leagues, but making your debuts at big teams like that at such a young age, you'll never forget them. And obviously my first Premier League debut was a scary time, but then after that final whistle, it was amazing.
So before the Southampton debut, did you go on loan before that, didn't you?
I had a few loan spells to Watford.
And
two at
Leeds.
Watford, and then Leeds.
Yeah.
And then that's when I came back and...
What were those like?
It was good. It was a great experience. It was just, again, I was with Paolo Venazza, who was at Arsenal with us, and then he was he kind of structured the deal to go to, because Janko Vialli was the manager at the time.
Yeah.
So I had 2 spells under him. And no, I really enjoyed it. I just really enjoyed playing, first team football. We had a lot of academy stuff and a lot of success, and it was amazing, just playing them games. But actually playing in front of the crowd, getting that buzz and seeing, the whole professional game side of it, was great. And I did really enjoy the experiences. And every time I had a chance to go on loan, I would always make sure I take it.
And when you were on loan, I think Arsenal won the FA Cup twice. Were you sort of sat there going, oh, I wish I could be part of that? Or were you going, no, I'm learning my trade here, sort of thing?
Oh, no, you always wish you can be a part of your team. But, if that door's not open, then you've got to... It's like going on loans to showcase your skill, why you should be playing. Because I'm sure Arsene would have been keeping an eye on sending out his scouts at every game I played. So I knew every game I'd play, it would mean, not just playing for Watford, it would mean actually trying to help my career at Arsenal as well. Yeah.
What was it like? Because when we was with each other, and again, a lot of people, we had the one with John, what was it about? Sort of living a life that's not really real. I mean, when you're in football, you just see the football life. But what was it like growing up in terms of when we was at Arsenal and you was on your own? Because you were in digs at first, but then...
I was digs for 6 months with Clem.
Yeah. So after that though, you're on your own. What was it like going out on loan, living on your own? Did you miss that kind of a family figure, not so much a father figure, but did you have any kind of that surrounding you that helped you? Or did you?
I had my auntie who lived in London at the time. Yeah. But again, all my family, brothers, sisters, father was in Nottingham. My friends who I grew up with was all in Nottingham. So I kind of started fresh. I trying to go like City and all, Jerome Thomas, Ashley Cole, Palavas. I keep saying, I could keep going. I made like a new kind of stopped that life and made a new life. So I had to kind of start from the beginning. So it was hard. I was kind of on my own at times, and that's where probably a lot of my issues did come through from just being on your own, being isolated.
Did no one at the club, like when you were boys coming through, did they not have people sort of helping you with this sort of stuff?
You did, but not as much.
Really,
not really.
Not now.
Not now. Now it's a lot.
Now it's
bigger.
everything's cared for.
Yeah.
You got player liaison officers. I mean, if we had a player liaison officer around when he broke through, because they do everything. They literally pay all your bills, get your flat, your apartment. So they literally just run your life. And it's just made easier, whereas it was to our own devices, especially for someone like
a 15-year-old from Nottingham.
Coming from nothing basically to having, this and that and not knowing, bills this, bills that, fear. Just like Steve said, it's, someone taking care of that for you does make a big difference in your life.
Big time. And when you boys, get your first contract and you've gone from like nothing to getting thousands of pounds a week. Yeah. It's got to be so hard mentally to go, right, I've only just started my career, not just go, come on, let's have it.
Yeah, you do get it, and the first couple of months you just want to enjoy it. Yeah. You go out and probably party and you treat yourself, and you want to try and get a new car, and you try and look for an apartment, and you try and live that lavish lifestyle, because at such a young age you're thinking, well, this is just the beginning. Just imagine in 5 years, 10 years, you don't actually process it properly. You're just thinking it's never going to end. But in football, it's so quick. Your career ends just like that.
Absolutely. We touched on it before, your Premier League debut.
Let's talk about the night before.
Yeah, let's talk about the night before.
Beforehand. It was ridiculous, wasn't it? I was there. I was out that night as well.
It was.
It escalated quick. And if you'd have said to me, Jermaine's playing tomorrow, I said, got no chance. No, it's just no chance.
I think anyone in that venue must have thought I was injured or I wasn't playing. So I thought, all right, I'm going to be on the bench, at least. I'm not going to start nowhere. We've got Lundberg.
There'd be no inkling from...
No, in team shapes and no. So I thought, right, we've got Lundberg, we've got Perez. What chance have I got? Sylvan Walter, they're all gonna be ahead of me. I'm gonna be on the bench. If anything, I might come up for 10 minutes. Okay, I could be rough. I've done it plenty of times in training in our youth team, so I can get through it. So then I go out. The boys are fuming, saying you're an absolute idiot, effing and blinding. This is your chance. You've got one chance. What are you doing? I'm going, no, don't. Just trust me. I'm on the bench. Oh, come on. It'll be fine. 6 a.m. goes on. I find myself heading home, probably get home about 7. And then we meet they always meet at the Four Seasons in Canary Wharf, have pre-match meal. And then Arsenal's doing his team talk. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm like this. Just drinking water. Patrick's sitting next to me there and he pulls down the board, says Pennant. Because I'm a little bit, a bit hungover, a bit rough, I thought it's a parlour. So I'm just going, sat down and he goes, and he's gone. And then he's gone, and Pennant. So I've just looked up. He start giving instructions. Then I go, oh no, that's me. Wow. I know that's me. Patrick's gone. Jermaine, this is your time. I just thought, no, it's not my time.
It's really not my time, Patrick.
Thinking, but if you knew, it's not. So all through that afternoon, I was just drinking bottles of water in the toilet, hiding. Arsene was talking to me there. I was looking this way, and he was probably thinking, is this kid all right? But I still wanted to smell the alcohol.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, Jermaine, what are you going to do? Pull your hamstring 10 minutes. Just pull your hammy. Just hobble off, say, gaff up, thingy. Just do that. Don't give the ball away. So whistle went, didn't give the ball away. Everything was kind of easy and fine. After like 15 minutes, I score. So I'm like, yes. Oh my God, yes, come off. Told Gav, you want to come off, put your hand up, do something, get off. Score another. And I'm like, all right then, all right. Half time, I'll call it a day. But I scored 3 before half time. So once I've scored 3, I'm staying on now. Doesn't matter what I do.
That's it. Because it's the same game that Perez scored.
Yeah, Perez scored. Yeah.
So who got the ball?
So so obviously he said, very great for him. He went, no, Jermaine, this is your first one, you can have it. So I got all the boys to sign it, still got it to this day.
The thing I want to just touch on here, like we laugh and joke about it, but do you think that was probably one of the worst things that could have happened to you in terms of you going out to then score a hat-trick? Because you probably would have been better off playing, having an absolute
stinker and learning a lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say I won't say a great positive impact, because as you get older, you realise, one, your body can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And 2, you start to realise, listen, this is stupid. So maybe it was a little, I'm not saying a blessing, but, because I'd done so well, it probably led to a couple more incidents where I thought I can get away with, which really you can't. And
was anyone aware of what had happened?
Only the boys who I went out with, and probably through the boys.
So the gaffer
in the paddock. No. Like when CD says, when you're on the bench, there's a little paddock area just behind that where all the youth team boys and the players who are not involved sit there. So they would have already been aware of what's gone on, and the players who weren't in the squad knew. And I can remember when I scored the first goal, there was texts going around, ping, all the boys phoning in. Oh my God, he scored!
Wow. So why did after that? What an amazing debut. Why didn't you think it worked out for you at Arsenal after that?
It was weird because the next game we played was West Ham. I was on the bench, came on for about 25 minutes. I think we won 2-1 or 2-0. And I just thought everything was going great. I thought, right, I've made my debut, scored a hat-trick. What more can I do? What more can a player do?
Yeah.
But it just didn't progress. I really don't know why. I was training well. It didn't progress. And then the more that had happened, the more I started to lose my head, because all I wanted to do is play football. And then I'd go out, and that's when I got caught drink driving, and then from there, that's when it actually just went downhill.
So it was the frustration of not playing that you go out and go, right, just get angry sort of thing?
Yeah.
That's where you needed someone.
Especially when you ain't got the family, you ain't got your friends around you, the correct people to guide you, which I didn't. I'd want to go out and just, let my frustration out in a different way. Led to incidents that built up to obviously getting the bad boy image and obviously things not progressing as it should have.
You was probably quite someone easy led, wasn't you, at that age as well? There'd been times where you could have been indoors and then you could have got a phone call saying, we're going to go out, do you fancy it? And you'd be like, I'm sitting on my own, I'll go out.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But you said in previous episode that you had loads of people around you who wanted to be with you because you were a footballer.
Yeah.
Did you have that as well?
It was always like that, yeah. There'd be people who, I look back then, I'm sitting here now thinking, well, where? Well, couldn't even tell their names anymore, it's. But I can remember going out before you get to the door, them standing, maybe not going, Jay, yeah, what's happening? And then, you know, coming in with you. And yeah, people at that time I see it now because I look about the players now and see what kind of, how they are and how people try and attach. I see it now. So, but then you're just a bit blasé to things and you just, oh yeah, come on, thinking everyone's your mate, but really they've got their own hidden agenda.
Yeah, and you mentioned the drink driving there.
Yeah.
You obviously went to prison for it. How hard was that for you?
Oh, it was horrendous. Probably worst, you know, part and time of my life. I genuinely thought, that's it. I would never play football again.
Serious?
Yeah, but I was thinking, well, I do. Who's going to take you to come out of prison? How do you?
Was you seriously sitting yourself thinking that? Was it time to reflect, or was it?
Yeah, you had a lot, well, nothing else to do
Yeah.
apart from reflect. And I was writing letters to people and apologising. But yeah, I genuinely believe that. How am I gonna? I thought, okay, I could get a team, but it's never going to be at a high level.
Yeah.
I'm never going to achieve anything, you know, remotely, you know, something to talk about, or be at the top club or stay in the Premier League. Like, who's going to do it? How do you do that? But obviously, I was on loan to Birmingham, and I didn't know. Well, I didn't know halfway through the time I was in there is that Birmingham and Arsenal was doing a deal.
Yeah.
Doing a deal while I was inside, and then Steve Bruce came to visit me in prison.
Wow.
Which was eventful, because
How did that make you feel?
it was amazing for him to take his time out of his day to go inside a full-on, you know, category A prison, to put himself amongst criminals and, you know, and tarnish his name in a way where it's going to be spoke about. So I thought that was remarkable. And
did that flick a switch? Was that could have been a sliding doors moment where you've just gone, look, he's took it like that. That's a big call for someone to come and do that.
It's a massive gamble on himself. You know, it was good. Eden must have had to. I done well when I was alone there. I done great. So that was, you know, easy for him to persuade the club to take me on. But he must have been doing some great persuading. And when I was there and he's telling me that we've agreed a deal, I just thought, wow, when I get out, I'm gonna give you my all.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I got out, I said, yeah, it was great. I played probably one of my best footballs in my career, you know. And on the back of that, crazy enough, I get a move to Liverpool.
Would you say Steve Bruce was like, you know, your footballing father figure?
Yeah, I've said this to everyone. People say, who's your best manager? I say the best manager I've had is Arsene Wenger. This coaching style and what he can do, you know, to nurture your skill as a player. But as a manager, I would say Steve Bruce. I felt I could always go to him. You know, I've had some rollickings off him where, oh, Jesus. But, you know, I always felt he would put me down on the team sheet next week because you know what I deliver, and I would deliver. And that's what our bond was like. It was like, you know, your dad told you off, but it doesn't mean in a couple of days he's not going to speak to you, or, you know. So I'd get a 10 off, but then on the match day, I'd perform. And that's what he needed to perform, which is a little bit different now.
Absolutely. What did he say to you in prison? When he came to meet you, what did he say?
Look, he knew the situation I was in. He didn't want to make, you know, me feel any bad. So it wasn't anything of, you know what you've done. He was just asking me, are you all right? Have you got everything you need? Just, you know, everything you need, the clubs will sort it out. You know, just stay strong. And, you know,
Brilliant.
Get yourself out and get yourself training.
Fair play, Steve Bruce, that.
Yeah, I mean,
Nice
that's
touch.
amazing. I mean, so you've come out of prison, you go into Birmingham City, you're training, you got a tag.
Yeah.
Was there elements where you're looking down and just going, was that like a, you know, like a signal to go, I need to get back on the right path?
Yeah, of course. When I had to, obviously we had to manage it so it didn't injure anyone. The FA had to look at it, see if I was like to play with it anyway, so we've padded it up in a way we could play. Obviously got a lot of stick, that was, you know, that is always going to come.
Yeah.
But
From
yeah,
the fans or
no,
players?
from the fans.
Yeah, and what about the players you're playing against?
No, the players will have a giggle here and there.
Right.
My curfew was at midnight, which was quite.
That's
you
not
know,
a bad
that's
curfew,
generous
that.
for you.
That's very, very generous because the reason was because if we play away games in London, we're travelling. You know, they'd say, look, we needed to get back home in time. Yeah, I did look at it and think, you know, I'm the only player that's ever going to be doing this in football ever. It's not going to happen again. You're not going to, because, you know, the professionalism of football now, the way players take it serious now and the demands on their body to produce, to be an amazing player, you can't live your life like that no more. So, and it was a wake-up call when, I just got to regrets and, look back and try and learn from your mistakes.
Absolutely. And from there, from Birmingham,
Wow.
the move of your dreams.
Yeah, obviously my boy, your team, it's Liverpool. So when
You must have been buzzing.
I just want to go back because moves come back. It happened to me when I went to Chelsea. It comes out of nowhere and you're like, is this real? So what was it like? So you've done prison. You've had an unbelievable season at Birmingham. Was it out of the blue? Was it sort of spoken about and it dragged on? When did you find out?
It was kind of whispered. You'd read in the papers back then. You'd always look at your stars and your ratings that you got, and there'll be whispers that Liverpool are interested. And one of the staff members told me that most home games a scout comes to watch you from Liverpool.
Wow.
Which they wasn't supposed to tell me that, but as a friend. So I knew there was keeping an eye on me, and obviously my agent told me, yeah, there is interest there, but that was that. Halfway through a game, we're playing Liverpool, and Steven Gerrard's in the middle of the park, and the ball's on the far side, I'm in the middle, and Steven's gone, Jayla, and I've just gone, yeah. So, who's your agent? I went, Sky Andrew. Why? Do you know him? He went, nah. And I was like,
This is during the game when
This
you're
is during
playing for
the game.
Birmingham v Liverpool.
yeah, this is during the game. So I'm like, what, you're just going to leave me hanging? So he's like, ran off. I've gone, do you want his number?
Was it one of them ones? He's carried on. You slowed down. And you got to sort of,
And I'm running after him.
no way.
I've got to try his number. And we just ignored it, kind of playing, didn't really speak after that. And then obviously it's halfway through the season, so end of the season, Birmingham get relegated, doing all the pre-season, getting ready for the championship. And then one of the coaching staff comes running out onto the training pitch and says, you need to go into the changing room and call your agent. And I went, oh, Jesus, what have I done?
Is that what your first reaction?
Really?
Yeah, what have I done now? I was thinking all the things running through my head, what? So he went, Jay, Sky Andrew went, Jay, get showered, get changed, get to Melwood, FC Liverpool, Lime Street, as soon as you pop up. And why? Went, Liverpool and Birmingham got agreed to deal. On the other side, I was screaming, phone dropped, I was like this, I looked like Crouchy, you know what I mean? Doing this.
That's incredible, isn't
And
it?
I ran out to the boys, said boys, I'm off, you know what I mean? David Dunn was like, he was raging. He was like the star, he wanted to, he couldn't get a move.
Was it hard to leave Steve Bruce?
I didn't even think about it at that time, I just thought Liverpool.
Right.
I didn't want to be in Championship, I didn't want to get relegated, it's my boy team. And I just obviously went over to Steve and I said, Steve, thanks for everything, it's been a pleasure.
I just want to go on, when you go to Liverpool, when you sign, I'm assuming the players that are there, Stevie, Carragher's, even the manager, did any of them...
Alonso's.
But did any of them sit down, or did the manager sort of sit down? Because you've had a reputation before with the prison, and we know undoubtedly the talent that you've got, but did anyone sit down with you and go, listen...
Benitez did.
Right, so it was the manager.
It was before the pre-season tour when we went away, I think we went Austria or Switzerland. But he got me in his office and he said, right, get me a piece of paper. And he said, I want to write all your things that push you in the wrong direction. I want to write all your negative things. So I was honest. I went going out, drinking, friends and girls. So he goes, so how are you going to address this? So I said, well, obviously I won't go out. I'll be more professional. I'll choose the right friends. I said, yeah, I just, just changing my lifestyle a little bit better. And he goes, okay. and we'll revisit this later on. He did it with Craig Bellamy as well.
Oh,
So
right.
obviously Bellamy had a little bit of a history, and
Yeah.
so did the same with him.
Okay.
Did it work?
God knows what he worked. It didn't work for the first season.
Yeah.
It was only Peperino who played more games than me.
Okay.
And that's the year we obviously got to Champions League final, and I had an amazing season there.
That's unbelievable. That you're thinking you've gone to a club like Liverpool, in your first season, and a goalkeeper
Is the only
who
person.
who always plays every game is the only one that's played more games than your likes of Carragher's, Alonso's, Gerrard's, all of the other top players that are there. I mean, that's some feat that is in your first season.
Yeah, my first game was against Maccabi Haifa, 1-2-1. But I think I set up the goal for Belez, and I got the Man of the Match award on my first game, which was amazing. But then after this next season after that, I got a terrible injury, which was out for 3 months, and then he kind of rushed me back and got me back in. And the game I played, I didn't play to, my standard that I should have really. But I had a stress fracture, and it kind of rushed it in with a double hernia as well. And then from that game onwards, I kind of got left in the pecking order. And then again, my mentality is when I don't, exactly like I said, the self-destruct button starts to get pressed. When I'm not playing, when I think I can be playing, when I know I'm better, or I feel I offer more than Dirk Kuyt on the right, I should be playing. That's when the mental issues start coming in and the self-destruct starts.
It's interesting because already when we've been speaking, a lot of it has come through not playing and that self-destruct when not getting that chance. But we've literally just skimmed over a whole season where he's played near enough every game. So what was it like? You're at Liverpool playing for one of the biggest teams in world football. Was you still going out? Was it still the same was you treated the same as when you was a youngster? Did you grow up a bit? I mean,
no,
what
I definitely
season?
grew up. Obviously, I was 20, so I didn't stop going out because you know what I mean. You'd get a couple of days off, so I did go out, but it wasn't before games at Liverpool. Like I said, I respected how big a club it was, and I respected I was more of an adult and getting more professional. And like I said, I was playing every game, so I was happy within my life. The club was doing well, and I love Liverpool. Touching the badge here in the Anfield song. You never walk alone. Always to this day, it brings hairs on the back of your neck stand up. So no, that was a good period of my life, and didn't really change too much. But again, it's just when I'm not playing and I feel like I should be, and I'm not getting deserved, and then I ain't got the right people around you as well. I did that, like I said, you just being on your own, you just end up, pressing that self-destruct button.
Was it actually the alcohol that you used to sort of numb the frustration?
It wasn't actually the alcohol, because I didn't
Or it was
really
just
like
going out.
It's just going out. It was just going out, having a good time, and then whatever happens after it. It wasn't, because if that was the case, I would have stayed at home and drink. I don't really, people might have said, "Oh, is he an alcoholic?" No, because I could sit at home all week and not do anything. I didn't really like drinking. I didn't like drinking at home, and to this day, I still don't. I only go out if it's a social drink.
Right, okay.
Or after a little game of
It's
golf.
more being around people, just not being on your own.
On your own, not being on your own. And obviously growing up as a kid was tough, especially not having a mum around. So you want to fill this void. So you want to just be around people, you want to socialise, you want to be around girls and get that love and feel attention and need attention. So I had a lot of, dark demons growing up as a kid, and which led into my adult life. Which obviously has made half the mistakes that I have made, which people wouldn't know about.
So after that first season, and then when you were out for 3 months and you were, you're going out doing what you were doing, what did the other players think? Were they like, "Oh, here he goes again, he's going back to his old way," sort of thing?
They didn't really, no one really pulled me aside.
They're not?
Do you wish one of them did? Or a few of them?
Yeah, I wish the stature that Cara and Stevie G got out of that club, they run the club.
Yeah.
They run Liverpool, they're Mr. Liverpool. If they would have pulled me aside to a proper pulling aside and said, "Look, you need to fix up, you can be a big part of this team, but if you don't, we're going to kick you out the door." Something along those lines, where Rafa would never approach you, would never call you in his office, he would just leave you out. And
it's quite cold.
Cold, yeah. He don't like Stephen probably was saying, Carol said, he's not the best man management of a manager.
That's what Crouchy said, wasn't it?
Same thing, yeah.
Well, he's not. So, even if I was doing something wrong, he wouldn't pull me aside. If I was pulling my weight in training, he wouldn't say. So the only times I hear that if Stevie's shouting at me if I'm not running back in training.
Yeah,
or if
yeah.
I'm not doing, that's the only time I know.
But someone like you needs that, don't they?
Yeah,
Someone
yeah.
to tell you,
I
Jermaine, you're doing this wrong.
Everyone needs certain guidance. Some people need an arm around the shoulder. Some people need a stern telling off. You know, everyone reacts different. But I definitely need someone to maybe tell me off. Then I say, look, you're a good player. Look, you're a good kid. You can do this. You can do that. Just help this, and you know, if you need this, it would definitely have helped. But I never really had that.
Just needed
I've had to
loving,
deal with everything kind of myself.
Yeah. But because you got caught, you know, once or twice out and stuff like that, and obviously, you know, the prison obviously didn't help. Do you think people just went, he's bad news? Never even met you. He's bad. No, don't get involved with him.
100%, and probably, you know, I mean, I probably make some silly minor mistakes now when they will just automatically say it's bad news. You know, not knowing the individual, what they've gone through, what they've been through, and why they made that mistake in the first place. I will always be probably judged on that, and I've always tried to, you know, I've not made it easy on myself. I do make mistakes, but I don't make it easy, and that tag will always be there. I don't think I'll ever get rid of it. And have I played to it? Do I play with it? Do I have to just have I accepted it and go, right, I'm this bad boy. Let's just be this bad boy.
Yeah, but you're not, though, are you?
Yeah, no,
yeah,
far from it. I'm far from
He's
it.
always the laughing, jokey,
yeah.
I mean, he's always the one, the happy-go-lucky, maybe not as professional in terms of things that he said there.
Well, you admitted it, yeah.
Yeah,
But you're
but
not a bad person.
If I go in a changing room, then the player's not going to go, oh, he's a bad egg.
No, they're going to go, he's a right laugh.
It was a right character.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've never been in a changing room where anyone said I'm a bad egg or, you know, I disrupt the team. I wouldn't. I'll be annoyed I'm not playing, but I would probably still be in the changing room, cracking jokes, making people laugh, and doing what.
You talk about their changing rooms and cracking jokes. We've both played for Stoke. Tony Pulis?
Tony Pulis.
What was he like? With you, but in both terms, football-wise with you and on a personal level with you?
Football terms, I signed on loan, so when you sign on loan, you take things with a little, you know, you don't take things to heart too much because you're not my team, you know, but you give it. So, but his style of football was a bit different, but it worked for the time he was there, and obviously the fans started getting a bit bored of it. But with me, it was fine. It was fine. It's only when things start, again, when they weren't playing me, he was playing Ryan Shotton, the centre-back, right midfield. And I could hear that when I was on the bench, the fans screaming, what you doing, what you doing? But he's a very stubborn man.
Yeah.
But why was he doing that? Is that another thing, like, personal thing, or?
It was probably a personal thing, probably because I wasn't running 110 miles an hour in training.
Right.
Which I've never really done. So I thought, there's players who you can look on a training pitch and go, oh my God, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And on a Saturday, you think, well, where they're gone.
Yeah, but you say that running. I mean, you just look at the goal in the semi-final of the FA Cup here at Wembley.
Yeah.
Against Bolton.
Against Bolton, when you run and, was it Kevin Jones you slid in?
Jones, yeah. I took the ball and just, I was like 20 yards inside our own half, 15 yards from the box, all the way, and
Rapid.
Slipped him in and we scored. That was probably one of the best moments. The best moments I've had at Wembley and for the team. And then obviously we played again against City, but just lost 1-0.
What was it like coming up against them? Because it's about that time that they was coming into the powerhouse.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. But I think we stood up for ourselves. We gave them a good go.
Did you go into it thinking we can win this?
We went into it thinking we've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Let's just go good and ho. Let's just, we're not expected to win. The fans are not expected to win. No one's expecting to win. But let's just go in. Anything can happen. We knew what happened with Man City and Wigan, so we really rallied ourselves up, especially coming off a back of the victory against Bolton 5-0. That gave us a really massive confidence, and the following that we brought to it was huge. So we just thought, let's go for it. And we did stand up for ourselves that game.
And for someone like yourself who arguably should have been playing, for a Man City, do you try extra hard to go, I'm still up there? Yeah.
When I was playing, I always, against teams like that, I always try extra. I always try and, do a little bit more, get on the ball more, even if it's put in a set piece that can lead to a goal or anything. I always try to, when I was at Stoke, try to play as good as I could do. Maybe get a move back to another big team, 100%.
What was it like after that loan move then after Stoke? Because you didn't really Was it after there that you didn't really kind of find a
af-
home as such?
After the loan move, obviously I had to either go back to Spain because I was on loan from Zaragoza, and they agreed a deal. So, because I did like
you couldn't go back there. Your car's got parking
yeah,
tickets on it.
that's why I didn't go. Well, exactly, there you go, because Stoke signed me, so I couldn't go back. So yeah, obviously I signed my contract with Stoke, and like I said, I thought that's my longest time I've stayed at a club, which is 5 years.
Yeah.
That was kind of home. It was good, but then Tony it was like a love-hate relationship with me and Tony. And when it was good, it was great, and when it was bad, he made me train with the kids and said, "Don't come in the changing rooms when we're training." So it was that kind of relationship, and then.
Did that equal with you going out again and stuff like that?
Obviously I wasn't playing. I was playing with under 23s, and what else was I going to do?
Were you quite stubborn as well?
I'm a little bit stubborn at times, especially when
you disrespected me, sod you sort of thing.
Yeah, especially when I feel that I didn't deserve it at the time, because I actually didn't. He stopped me from. He wasn't playing me. He was putting me in the stands. He was bringing me to games, putting me in the stands, and I had a loan move to Leeds. All sorted. Neil Warnock, I thought, great, love Neil Warnock, great manager. I think I'd really enjoy playing underneath him. And it's back to my club at Leeds, where I spent 1 year, and the fans loved me there. So I thought, perfect. Not getting on with Stoke, not getting on with Tony, not playing, amazing. A couple of days before, he's pulled the deal. So my agent said, why? Oh, he's going to use you, so the next weekend, I'm in the stands. And I just stuff like that. And I just lost my head. And then we just, literally departed ways.
So by that time, you've had a good career now.
Yeah.
You've still got plenty of legs to go. Yeah. So going on from there, like what happened to the last few years? So there was India, Singapore.
Yeah.
Billericay stint down there.
Went to India. Wigan. No, in fact, I went to Wigan. Done a season there, which is really enjoyed Wigan. Nice club. Went to Wigan. Then they offered me a deal in the summer. Turned it down, and then I was out of contracts. And then someone phoned me up about India, saying, "Look, there's a tournament going on, a lot of money, and at that age, you've got to look after yourself and your family." So,
how old were you then?
34.
Oh right.
Yeah, 34. So I said, okay, yeah, do it. You're going to be a marquee player. You're only going to be there for about 8-10 weeks, and you're going to get, X, Y, Z. So I said, oh, where's the paperwork? Outside.
So at that time, it literally was money.
Yeah, so I flew out in there. It was a great experience. 60, 70,000 people. Anelka was out there, Lundberg was out there for different teams, marquee signings. So it was a good experience. And then I came back, and then an offer about Singapore. But that was more to do with a project. They wanted to lift the league. And then I was doing a lot of punditry of the Premiership games every weekend as well. So it was more of not just about football, it was about a project and trying to lift the league, get more players into the league from foreign based. Yeah.
I just want to get an insight of what you think. I'm going to go through three topics of them. What you thought generally over your career, managers thought of you, fans thought of you, and what your teammates thought of you. So let's start with managers. What do you reckon, out of everyone, if you had to nutshell them all, what do you reckon, if they had to describe you or how they perceive you, what would you say managers would say?
For some reason, I would say manager either would say is unreliable.
That's being truthful.
Yeah, unreliable. I would say he's unreliable. You don't know if he's going to, be a top professional, or is he going to, or is he going to, you're going to open the papers, and you're going to see him in the back page. So I'd say he's unreliable. Okay. Maybe attitude, probably throw a bit of dash of attitude in there, a bit of soul bait. They might say that.
What about fans?
Fans, I'm not going to swear, but, I think there'll be a lot of swearing going on. What was that? My own fans or opposite fans?
Yeah, just for you. Let's say your own fans. No, let's say your own fans, because everyone gets it.
Yeah.
So your own fans, because you are there to excite, and let's be honest.
I think own fans would. Most teams that I've played for, I've really, said, well, we loved you on our wing. You've done so much for us, and then you'll get someone who'll probably say, one consistent enough, which sometimes you would agree when your teammate playing great. It's hard to. You look at Liverpool right now. Some players you could say they're not consistent, but But majority of them, I would say, yeah, what a good player.
Yeah.
You know, his set pieces, his deliveries, his crossing. Would say that.
And more importantly, teammates.
Teammates, I think teammates would love me.
Well, you can answer the question. You can answer.
Yeah, I think teammates would say, no, it's a joy to have around the place.
Yeah.
Definitely an absolute lunatic, a character. But I don't think they would say, oh, I wouldn't like him in our dressing room because he would, you know, ruin or spoil, and you know what I mean. Because I've never been like that, and I won't do that.
100%. So, going on your career, people might think this is a stupid question, but do you think you fulfilled your potential? Now, I see your potential when we first met, when we was 15 and going for Arsenal, and people say, well, how can you ask that if he's played for Liverpool when he's done man of the match in Champions League final? But I still feel you could have gone on.
Yeah, 100%. There's two ways I've looked at this. Have you had a good career from where I came from? Absolutely. Have I fulfilled it from where I came from? Absolutely. But at my potential for what, if I'd done everything right? No. 100% no. I definitely could have played for England. The week before my drink driving incident, Arsenal was going to offer me a £20,000 a week contract.
Gee.
I knew, and at the time I was on, you know, it wasn't little money then because we were just youth team academy players. And then that's when they agreed to deal with Birmingham. So if that didn't have happened, I would have probably been at Arsenal for longer. And at that time, they were the top team in the world, in the Europe, should we say. So if you were playing in there, who knows what could have happened.
And do you look back with regrets?
I look back with regrets. The drink driving definitely regrets, but I think everything happens for a reason. And you know, if I'm going to take everything away from it, I've played for my boyhood club. I've had a dream. Played for Liverpool, played in Champions League. My other dream was play for England. It didn't happen, but at least I've had two of them. So, you know, there is regrets, but again, some just memories.
Top man, mate.
Well, this has been a memory, Jay.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Top man, brilliant.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Cheers.